Hey everybody, it's Kneecap here, and welcome to This Week in WoW for the week of July 1st, another new month. Before we get started, let's go ahead and thank the Patreon supporters. We have Mario Casillas, Repelli Rocks, Nick Rada, and Peter Burnham. Thank you guys so much for the support. And now let's hop in and talk about what's going on in the game this week. A decent amount of things to talk about. We have the Collector's Bounty starting off this week. Okay, so Collector's Bounty is going to be a thing where you can go back and get pre-Dragonflight mounts and transmog items at an a higher rate, basically increase the chance by 5%. So if something was like a 1% chance, it's now a 5% chance. Is it 5% or plus 5%? Somewhere around there. So if it's a 1% chance, it's either a 5 or a 6% chance. So, pretty a pretty good thing there. Now, something was already a 5% chance. Now it's a 10% chance. That's not as much of a leap, of course. If something was 0.5 to 5, that becomes a, times 10. 5 to 10 is times 2, whatever. But it's still just an increased chance. That's what this whole thing's about. If you are into farming stuff, or if you're a new player, you want to go back and farm stuff, this is good for you. If you're an old player and there's still some things that you've never been able to get because of bad luck, this is a chance to get that. For me, that would be like Ashes of Alar and Mimron's Head. Two things that I still don't have that I've farmed for a lot for a long time. That maybe this will be the chance that I get this. Uh, Alongside this, we have the Greedy Emissary. So a lot of people were wondering what this was. This came at the end of Dragonflight, and this was like to kind of go along with Diablo. This is basically a Diablo little treasure hunter guy. Comes out of portals, you kill him, you get stuff. It's pretty simple, pretty straightforward. There's nothing hard about it. He spawns in the towns and stuff like that. It pops up on your map. A portal summons, and you go kill him. It's pretty simple. Again, there's not too much to it. It's going to be laggy the first day. If anything like Dragonflight, the first day of this, it'll be very laggy with people killing it. And it'll get slightly better as time goes on. Obviously, we will all wish that would be better than what it is. But at this point, what else can we say about it, I guess? We also have Arena Skirmish bonus event going on. And we have PvP Raw Deep 6 going on as well. And we should still have time walking going on with the Turbulent Timeways. It says time walking dungeon event ends, but we should still have a time walking going on here. Let me see. Ongoing Turbulent Timeways. Yeah, so Turbulent Timeways is still ongoing. That's all the way through August. So we still should have some time walking stuff to do as well. On top of that, doesn't have it listed which one is this week. Time walking dungeon event begins, but it doesn't say which one. That being said, whatever one it is, you can still do time walking. You can still work to get this mount that I have right here, that I'm on right now. You can get that from the end of the dungeon, or you can just do time walking every week, get the buff from the greedy emissary, from the time walking, the turbulent time ways buff, and you will get them out automatically if you do that. On July 4th, we're gonna have the fireworks spectacular. This is obviously 4th of July, America. We'll be doing my 4th of July on July 3rd, but in the game here, you can come look at the fireworks, whatever, if that's what you want to do. Kind of like more of an RP type event, nothing to kill, nothing to collect, really, just fireworks ongoing. And then you also have the rest of this week until Saturday to do stuff for the Midsummer Fire Festival. They did add a few things to this, nothing extraordinary or anything, but they did add some things to the Midsummer Fire Festival if you want to take part of that. And then at the very end of the week, Darkmoon Fair will be starting up. If you want to partake in that, every month we talk about it, and every month I say this, mounts, pets, prizes, achievements, and hopefully getting updated to an evergreen content soon. That would be my hope for it. It's a huge opportunity in today's style of game to just make this like an evergreen content of like arcade style games to do, with like achievements and harder modes to do them on and stuff like that. It's actually a pretty cool thing. Even going through and doing all the achievements for the current Darkmoon Fair, even with its old style games in there, it's actually still pretty fun to try to get all the achievements. And a newer style of it would be a lot more fun, in my opinion. So that's all the little events we have going on, which is quite a lot. Obviously, we still have, you can still be working on your masks and stuff for the horrific visions. If you're still doing that, you can still get your belt upgraded, right? So there'll be another quest to upgrade your belt. And continually upgrade your belt until it's at max, which I believe is 701 or something around there for the max for the belt. So you can keep working on that. Again, you'll just have to go into a charge delve, do the quest, turn it in, upgrade your belt. So there's still that stuff to do as well. There's still like random stuff ongoing and all this new stuff. Also, stuff going on in the PTR as we get closer to 11.2. They announced 11.2 was going to be the crash shirt ever. It looks really sick. It looks really cool, actually. I've been on the PTR a little bit. I've had a very busy week IRL this past week, so I did not get to do as much on the PTR as I would have liked to. Including one of the days for the raid testing. I actually had a birthday party to go to for my niece who is 1 year old. So that was kind of cool to go to that instead, honestly, than be on the PTR. But so I was a little bit busy this week. Plus, it's just been really hot. If you live anywhere in the eastern United States, probably other places as well, it's just been a really, really hot week, and I've just been actually a little bit extra tired than normal as well. So this past week was just a little bit rough for me. But again, hopefully be on the PTR more this week. I did get into I did do Mythic Plus with the new dungeon, though. That was pretty fun. The new dungeon is pretty cool looking. It's pretty cool aesthetically, similar to Floodgate. And, I kind of can compare it to that. It's not like the best dungeon you've ever done in your life, but it's pretty cool. Bosses are fine. It's not something that you're like, oh, this is terrible or whatever. It's like, okay, yeah, this is another solid dungeon kind of thing. Similar how I felt about Floodgate, basically. It's a new dungeon. They added it in the middle of the expansion. It's pretty good. Nothing I hate about it. Nothing that I'm like, oh, this is the best thing ever either. But it is pretty cool. I like it. And yeah, so hopefully we get to maybe test out some more dungeons as well. I believe this week some more dungeons will open up to be tested on Mythic Plus. There could be more raid testing. I'd have to look at that if I can make it. It's also hard to do the raid testing because it's usually during the day because the Blizzard employees have to be at work. And so it's harder for me to get on during the day. So it's just difficult. But if I can, I definitely will. As far as Rep Paladin stuff, confirmed that I talked about before that the Empyrean Hammers appeared to be bugged. That's been confirmed a million times over. It's also confirmed that the Herald of the Sun tier set is like a little bit overperforming, not by a ton, but it's a little bit overperforming because it's of the duration of the Dawn Light or whatever. So there are some bugs going on with Rat. Rat also just kind of feels a little bit weak on the PTR right now. It hasn't been doing very good in the raid testing, I guess, from the raid testing that was done by people. So there's a lot of dooming going on with Rat. I will try to dig in more to that and see if that dooming is valid or not. The one dungeon I did fine. I've seen other Rats doing hierarchies with like organized group. Mine was a pug. I was going in blind and I did pretty good. I've seen Rats that are doing it with groups in a more, better environment. I guess you'd say more conducive to high success, and they're doing good. So it might be the case where Mythic Plus we're in a good spot and maybe not in raid. I'll try to get more into that, and I'll try to get into the into a raid testing. I think the other problem is that with Empyrean Hammers being broken, that's going to just hurt because Templar is clearly meant to be like the single target version. And so if you're doing a raid boss and you're in full single target spec, you're almost going to have to play Herald. And I don't even know if they're playing Herald. I'd have to dive into all of that to know for sure. But it's basically hard to tell anything when things are bugged. So you got to hope that gets fixed soon so you can actually know how we're doing. Because when an Empyrean Hammers is like your top damage and the tier set is about Empyrean Hammers and then the Empyrean Hammers aren't working, there's no real way to judge like how well you'd be doing if the hammers were actually falling appropriately. So that's where I'm at on that. And so like I said, hopefully I get on the PTR more. I'll also be trying to do some of these events, the Collector's Bounty, trying to take advantage of that, and also trying to do a little bit of the Greeny Emissary stuff. I'm not sure exactly what drops. If it's just mostly drops the same as Dragonflight one or last year or whatever it was, then I'm not going to probably worry about it too much, but I'll probably at least check it out and see what all is dropping and if it's anything worth doing. So I'll keep you posted on that, I guess. But yeah, that'll be it for this one, guys. Lots of stuff to do, none of it crucial. So if you're an end of patch, to kind of like take a break, you're not missing anything hyper important for the next patch, other than maybe upgrading your belt, because it'll probably be useful at the beginning of next patch, at the very least at the beginning of it. So but you're not really missing anything dramatic or anything like that if you like to chill towards the end of a patch. And you still probably got another solid, let's see, probably almost 2 months. It'll probably be mid to late August when the next patch comes out. So you probably got another a month and a half to 2 months or so before you have a patch come out. So that'll be it for this one, guys. As always, I do ask you to please subscribe to the channel. It helps me out a lot. If you're already a subscriber, I encourage you to check out the Patreon. And other than that, everybody, have a good one.